favor. He said, get a bucket and fill it with water. And he said, then put your hand in the bucket and pull it out. If it leaves a hole, then you can't go on vacation. I thought about that, and he's right. You know, things would go on without me. It's not that I'm that important. And I think probably most of you, not maybe some of you that hold positions and do jobs, that it would take quite a bit of training to get somebody up to the level you are to do what you're doing. But let's face it, at some point, you're not going to be in that job. Somebody else is going to have to do it. At some point, you're either going to retire or do the heavenly retirement thing, and you're not going to be here to do the job. And it's true with all of us that we can be replaced. We can be replaced. It's God's power. I like to tell my pastor friends that, you know, to be in the ministry, you have to be a crackpot. And I get that. I have biblical foundation for that, because God uses broken pots, you know, the pots that need mending, so that His light can shine through. And so God's light shines through those cracked pots so that we can really see that the power behind the ministry that we do as ordinary people is the power of God. So I've got a couple of challenges for you. One is that we're all ordinary, and therefore we can all do the work. And the other is that God calls ordinary people just so God's light can shine through. And so we need to be listening for that call in our lives. I'm really excited about this quilting class, and no, it's not because I'm going to go to it, but I know I can. You heard my drumming. I don't do well with my hands. You know, it wouldn't be very pretty. But I'm excited about it because these two ladies, you know, got together and talked about something that they were excited about, something that they do, and they realized that God can use that. God can use quilting to proclaim His word to those who don't know Him. God can use quilting in a way that gathers people together, relationship can be built, and Christian conversation can take place. And then those quilts can be given to needy people that need a warm quilt, whether they be nursing homes or neonatal intensive care units, or the families that we serve at Christmas and Thanksgiving. There's so many places that this can make a difference in the lives of those who need God in their life. And God can use that now. When I told them I really wanted to talk about the Bible, they both said, but we can't, we're just ordinary people. We can't teach the Bible. And the truth is, you don't need to teach the Bible. It's just a matter of talking about God's Word. We can all do that. I'm afraid that we all think we can't, but the power of God is so good, and God speaks through the words that we use. Does anybody know a lady named Elizabeth Kubler-Ross? Is that okay? Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. With some of the stuff you've done. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross is a lady who's done a great deal of study. She has her doctorate in death and dying, the process of death and dying. And some of the best classes I've ever had have used her books as textbooks to help us to deal with families and individuals who are in the end stages of life. My sister's a hospice chaplain down in West Virginia, and this is what she does 7 days a week, is work with those who are dying. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross has done a great study. Most of us don't like to work working around dying people. It's hard. We don't know what to say or what to do. Even doctors and nurses, I believe, feel uncomfortable around dying people because they feel helpless. They've been trained to rescue and to save and to heal. And when they're with somebody who is terminal, it's very hard for some doctors and nurses. But Kubler-Ross understood that we can help those who are dying. We can help them by our presence, our touch, our love. She helped to transform the way that dying people are treated in hospitals and nursing homes. She's really revolutionized that. While she was working in a Chicago hospital, she came to know a very ordinary woman, a cleaning lady. This cleaning lady was responsible for mopping floors and emptying waste baskets. But Kubler-Ross noticed that something quite extraordinary about this ordinary woman. When this woman would spend some time cleaning the room of a dying patient, the patient would almost always become quieter, more content, and more at peace. It wasn't true when everybody would do that, but when this lady came in to do it. And so she asked her, the Queen Lady, to find out how she did it. What was she doing? How she had such a positive effect on dying patients. And the woman explained that she had lived a hard life. She had experienced fear. She understood grief. The worst thing that had ever happened to her was the death of her 3-year-old son. The little boy had developed pneumonia, so she had taken him to the public health clinic, and he died in her arms while she waited her turn. The woman told Kubler-Ross, "You see, Dr. Ross, the dying patients are just like old acquaintances to me, and I'm not afraid to touch them, to talk with them, or to offer them hope." Kubler-Ross got this woman promoted. The hospital created a new position for her. She was no longer a member of the custodial staff. She became special counselor to the dying. I tell you this story because each of us, no matter how ordinary, has something special to give. A special reason for being alive. To uncover that special gift, we need to listen for Jesus' call. We need to hear him say, "Follow me," just like the disciples did, ordinary fishermen and others. We need to hear him say, "Follow me." Jesus might call us to be anything at all. There's a myriad of possibilities. Nothing is outside the realm of possibility. Jesus might call us to be anything at all. God often surprises us. But we can be sure that he does call us to love our neighbor, to help the needy, and to serve quietly in thousands of small ways. We're in the middle of a leadership group called our church health team that's studying about our gifts. We're talking about what our spiritual gifts are. And we believe biblically that God gives every Christian at least one spiritual gift. You may say, "Well, I don't have one." But, well, we're going to take the whole church through the study. I mean, we can't make you take the study. We're going to try really hard to take the whole church through this study of spiritual gifts. And you'll discover some that you never knew you had. You'll discover some that you were sure you didn't have. And I say that because there were many of us in the church health team, and Bob's shaking his head, Bob's in the church health team, and I remember him saying, "I don't have that gift." But it certainly has come out that indeed he does. And when we discover our gifts, we also believe that God gives us the gifts to build up the church. He doesn't give us these gifts so that we might, make a lot of money, or that we might do something private and personal with it. The only reason God gifts us is to grow the church of Jesus Christ, and so that we can build his church in the community where we're placed, drawing people in, doing good to those around us, spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. God calls every baptized member of the church, and that includes every baptized member of the church, to be a disciple of Jesus Christ, to be one who hears, or at least listens for that call, hears that call, and then responds by serving God with what he has gifted us already. When we heed his call, Jesus will make something important of our lives. Ordinary people become extremely extraordinary and important. He will unlock blessing after blessing that we can give to those around us. He will transform us from ordinary to angels of mercy. And when that happens, I think we find, at least I have found in my ministry, that we receive more blessings than we give. God blesses us by allowing us to be a blessing to others. So even though probably none of us will be the next U.S. president, we might have somebody in the back there at Super Church with Phil. None of us will probably be the next U.S. president after Obama. And probably none of us here will be Nobel Prize winners or laureates. None of us will probably invent the next earth-shaking invention that will transform the way the world thinks about itself. But we can shake the foundations of this community with the power of God when we allow him to use us as ordinary people